Welcome to the Don't You Worry podcast. We're your hosts, Briley and Britton Caldwell, and we're here to say, don't you worry, through stories, encouragement, and joy. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's conversation.
Welcome back to the Don't You Worry podcast. It's your favorite hosts, Briley and Britton.
And we both just finished a book that we have been reading. We've talked about it in the last episode a little bit. And she has a lot of different concepts in this book. And it's like all of these different ideas just spurred on each of these episodes that we're going to be doing. So it's A Crown That Lasts by Demi Tebow.
Highly recommend for any of our girls.
Yes, it's been an amazing book. She has so many cool stories, so many interesting life experiences, and very relatable. Also, like all of the things that she's been through has then brought up these topics of life and like what you're supposed to be, doing and trying to find your identity. And the whole thing is you are not your label of her like saying with this book. And so she's had a lot of different ideas, but today we are going to dive into one. You want to go for it?
So she's been talking about living in the moment in this book. And once both of us had read that, we realized this is exactly what we've been learning through golf.
Yes.
So we are jumping right in today.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've both been golfing, right? Both of us joined our school team this year.
Yes.
I played last year and went to a couple of the school practices to get a little feel for it. And I went like on my own. I practiced a lot with one of my friends. We went with our dad. But you have just started pretty much this year.
Yeah.
So what do you like about golf so far? What makes you frustrated about golf? Like, are you enjoying it? What's your take on it so far?
I really am enjoying it, probably overall. See, the thing is, like, when I'll go to play 9 holes or whatever, there's some holes where I get really excited because it's like, oh, that was a really good shot. That was really good contact, really good feel, whatever it may be. But then with other holes, it's like, I just want to throw my club on the ground. And I have before. I have recently. And it's like just little things that I know I can be better on. And it's like, okay, I know how to make this putt perfectly. But then like different circumstances, it's hard to get the perfect shot. Like even pros that literally do like thousands of putts per day, they don't get every shot right. So it's, and I know I've just been starting, but it's still frustrating because, like, I strive to be the best in absolutely everything I do. And when I'm not the best, then I get so frustrated at it. So it's definitely been a learning experience and lots of highs and lows in the actual game when I'm playing around. But it has been interesting and it's been fun. And it's a thing where, like, I can learn at something and I'm not necessarily better than everybody I'm around. So I'm like constantly learning from dad, learning things from you, learning things from other people that I've golfed with and watched. So I do like that it's kind of something new because it's honestly,
you've never really done it,
a complete flip from dance. So with dance, like you have to have everything like tucked in and squeezing and everything, whatever. But then like with golf, you stick your butt out. Like it's completely different. So it's a whole new shift. I mean, it's still like very mental and like a lot of things that you have to be thinking about at one specific time, but
physically it's very different.
Yeah, it's something very new for me. So I think that is also playing a part in still trying to learn how to get better, but it has been quite interesting. What's your take on it?
So I really like it so far. I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to most things. Like patience comes easier for me than certain qualities, I guess. But so it's pretty easy for me to be willing to try it again and like keep practicing in a sense of if I'm going to practice putting or practice driving, which is like when you hit the big clubs. When I'm going to practice those things, like I don't get tired of it really easily. I'm pretty good about, okay, I can be patient. I can stay consistent with it. So I've enjoyed that. And for me, golf, like I would like to get pretty good at it right now because in the future, it can be a social thing. Obviously, we've gone with our parents and we've gone with like some of our friends going golfing. And it can be a pretty social thing, very conversational, which I like. I like getting to know people. And I'm a very chill person. So I'm just like, it's a pretty chill thing to be golfing. But also like when I get to that age of living on my own and different things, it can be a really easy thing to go do on your own. Like you don't have to have other people for golf. So I like that it can be independent or it can be with other people, but I have really loved it so far. It can be frustrating mostly because every shot is completely different. So like I could be practicing hours on end, do completely perfect on all of my shots, like hit perfectly, all these things, but then you play a really bad game and it's just these different things. But I remember last year, what we kind of wanted to dive into today is I was practicing at this facility where you just hit a whole bunch of golf balls. So I kept hitting and I kind of was like trying to get through it really fast. You know, I would hit one after the other. And our dad, who's been golfing for years, like wanted to be a professional golfer at one point in his life. He said, every shot is completely different. No two shots are ever the same. Like this ball has never been hit before. So you've got to focus on this shot and nothing else. And I was like, okay. So it's a complete, like, again, even though it is physical, you've got a lot of mental things going on too. This one shot has never been hit. So I'm going to hit it with everything I've got. I'm going to like remember all the things I need to remember. And we've both realized that with actually playing like 9 holes where you walk on a golf course, like if you hit one really, really bad, then you've got to shake it off before you get to the next one. If you carry that through and you're trying to hit the next shot while you're still thinking about that bad one, then you're going to get your game messed up. Or if you're looking forward and being like, okay, I've got this many left, so I've got to hit this many, you've only got to focus on the one right now, which is the whole concept of what Demi was talking about in this book, that like you've got today to live in this moment right now. And I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but it's so important that we don't go too far in the future and don't look too much to the past, that we've got this moment right in front of us. So for me, like I'm going into my senior year, which is crazy, but you're going into sophomore year, I'm going into senior year. And I had a fantastic junior year. I mean, I got to go to New York City. I got to hang out with a bunch of my friends. I had a lot of challenging academic classes, but they all ended up being really well in the end after working hard. And I joined journalism and I got to start doing things with the yearbook and editing. And that has kind of helped even with this podcast, like with editing and interviewing, I guess is more the topic that I've figured out how to do. But I think there's just so many things that was awesome about my junior year that I've had to realize I can't keep looking back at that too much. Like, yes, it is completely good to look at your past. We're going to do another episode on talking about your past. Yes. So that's not a bad thing. And it's not remembering the good times and remembering good memories. Those aren't bad things at all. But you can't constantly do that because you might miss what's right in front of you. And the same thing with college comes after senior year. And that's insane. Like, I don't know what college I'm going to yet. And I don't know for sure what I want to do, what I want to major in. I have some good ideas, but the fear of college.
Because like also the fact of living on your own in college. Yeah. I mean, you've obviously
it's completely
not lived on your own. Yeah. So that's like a whole new experience that you're trying to look forward to.
Right. So I have these dreams and all these hopes for the future. And again, that is great. I think dreams are great. I think goals are great. All of these things are fine, but you can't do too much of looking at the past, looking at the future, that you're missing what's in front of you. So I think also I want to dive into, so like what keeps us from living in the moment? Because it seems like a pretty simple concept of, okay, just focus on this one shot, this one day you've got. What do you think keeps us from living in the moment though?
I think with me specifically, in a lot of different areas of my life, I kind of thought of different things for each aspect of like, why don't I live in the moment in golf? Why don't I live in the moment when I'm talking to people or making conversations? And I took all of that and I really boiled it down to the fact that I overthink everything. Like overthinking is such a struggle for me. Like I'm a bad test taker because I overthink a lot. And I like when I'm in a conversation with somebody, this is just an example. So if I'm having a conversation and I'm trying to get to know somebody and I'm trying to reach out to them or I want to talk to somebody, then automatically in my mind, like if I've had a conversation with them before, then I'm looking back on that like, oh, they didn't really react well to this. Like, I don't know how they're going to react now. And then I'm thinking, what if I say the wrong thing? What if they don't like me? Like, I'm thinking about all of the things instead of just saying, hey, you know, just going up to them and shooting my shot. I mean, like, then after I have a conversation with somebody, then I'm going to look back on it and I'm going to be like, I didn't say the right thing. That was so awkward. That was so weird. They're going to think I'm crazy. They're going to think I'm stupid. Like all of the things that are just so overwhelmingly like not true. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. I can only like, I I don't know how they're going to receive whatever.
And
I
you
just
can't
have
control
to
it.
Exactly. I just have to put it out there. And I mean, that's not necessarily an issue, the fact that maybe you wonder what they're going to think or whatever, but like you can't overthink that and you can't let that stop you, because that's what holds me back more is just overthinking and the fear and anxiety that like comes with that.
Yeah, and I think we can get wrapped up in things in the past, which sometimes it can be a silly thing. Like both of us have had embarrassing moments in the past, and I know probably everybody watching this has.
Yeah.
That like when you think back to that, like when you're trying to just have a good day and that embarrassing memory comes up, I cannot get over it.
They're like, the thoughts that keep you up at night. I mean, seriously.
I'm like, there's no way that happened. There's no way I said that. That is so embarrassing. I can't believe that happened. But you've got to learn to just laugh at yourself, which is something, again, I still struggle with when embarrassing things come up. But like, you can't put so much pressure on things you can't fix. Like you can't fix what you did. You can fix who you are now or what you do, how you react, but you can't overthink all of that all the time. I think another thing that keeps us from living in the moment is distractions. Things like the Forrest Frank song that came out, I don't know how long ago now, but we got to see it on tour. And he talked about it's time to put your phone down and raise your attitude. The song Celebration we talked about in a couple episodes ago. That's such a crucial thing that sometimes you've just got to put your phone down. I'm not against social media. I'm not against being on your phone. Again, I think incredible things can come from being on your phone and talking to other people. It's a great communication method. But sometimes you've got to sit it down because you might miss the moment that's right in front of you. You might miss somebody that you're getting to know or something that, I don't know. But by putting yourself out there, especially like when you're trying to get to know new people or in a different situation, you've just got to be brave and ask a question or see where the conversation goes or be willing to step out and do something new. And you've got to put aside those comfortable distractions, because for us, I know in the past, our phone has been a comfort source. It's been like, okay, well, if nobody knows me in this situation, I'm just going to get on my phone, scroll, and then I don't have to talk to anybody. It won't be uncomfortable.
Yeah, for me, whenever we moved here, like my first school, it was middle school, and we couldn't have our phones. Like they kept them in our lockers, whatever. And before we moved, I remember like always just going on my phone, like trying to act like I was texting somebody, even if I really wasn't, just to like get out of an awkward situation, just because I didn't want to have that uncomfortable conversation or just like have that awkward silence of just sitting there with somebody. So whenever I moved, I think that was also a big part of how like I got to start conversations with people. Like I sat down at lunch, I didn't know anybody, but it was like I had those conversations with people because I couldn't just like act like I was scrolling on my phone, even though I've never had Instagram in my entire life, and like, but nobody else knows that, but I'm acting like I'm scrolling. Like those were things that I did because I just want to like not experience what I'm experiencing, like what's around me, the environment I'm in. And so I think it's really important to have those moments that like, yes, phone communication, whatever, like being able to call somebody or being able to text people, make plans, whatever. All of those things are great. But I mean, it really is important for you to assess the situation around you. So then be like, okay, well, I don't know this person very well. Let me start a conversation with them. Why not? You know, just like seize the moment.
And we're about to go through Kate Downing's book,
her devotion.
Fighting with Fear. Yes, her Bible study. I'm so excited for it. If you guys haven't watched our episode with Kate or haven't listened to our episode with Kate Downing, please go check it out because she is so wise. So
great.
I mean, it was one of the best ones. We were like, we just sat there. We told her afterwards, we were like, I mean, we were just sitting
jaw
there
dropped, like
yeah, that sounds great. But anyway, so we were about to go through her book, Fighting with Fear, her Bible study. And we realized when talking to her, like one of the big fears for our age and for both of us is fear of the unknown, fear of the future. And I think that's a big thing that's keeping us from just seizing the moment, like you said. So what kind of fears of the unknown and future do you struggle with? What is it that you're dealing with that you think this scares me about what I don't know or about the future?
That's a great question. I honestly fear a lot of the unknown, even if it's literally like starting school. I mean, it's going to be different classes. I don't know everybody. That's one thing that I struggle with a lot, or, you know, a test coming up. But something that has kind of scared me a little bit recently when I think about it, when you go off to college, like what's going to happen to the podcast? That's a fear for me, not necessarily something, this is not necessarily something that we have to continue for the rest of our lives, but it's something that I've been doing for the past year and a half. And that when that's going to be a different circumstance, then what's that going to look like?
Right.
I don't know what that's going to look like.
Also, because we've lived together our entire life. Like,
yeah. And it's not that I'm going to be glad to have my own room, but I mean, it's going to be different. And I think the change is the thing that's scaring me a little bit, or the thing that I'm afraid of that then maybe holds me back, instead of just living in the moment now and enjoying all of the moments now that we have still recording episodes, that we have still interviewing people, until that changes. And then when that changes, it's not necessarily that that's going to be a bad thing. That can be a blessing in itself. But when I do have this in this moment, then live with it.
Yeah. Well, I think right now that I do have a lot of fear of the future of, I don't know where I'm going next year. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. That's the thing, is no matter how many times I keep saying, well, I'm not sure where I'm going to college. I'm not sure if I'm going to go into business, or if I'm going to go into communications, or if I want to do this, or if I want to do, I don't know what I want to do. But when I think about that, I also don't really know how tomorrow's going to pan out. You know, I don't know when I wake up if something crazy is going to happen. I don't know if I don't know how the weather's going to turn out. Like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
God has the future planned out. We can't think about all those things tomorrow. And I went through a really big season of anxiety when I was in middle school. I constantly was so worried about everything all the time. And we may talk about this at some point, but it was constant anxiety just about nothing, about things I couldn't control, about these big what ifs. But you can't be so wrapped up in all that, because you're going to miss what's right now. And I think something that, this is kind of silly, but when I was thinking through this episode and thinking through, you can't take control of all the things tomorrow, you can't carry tomorrow's burdens, I thought through we have always loved the beach. Absolutely loved the beach. My favorite place on earth, Seaside, Florida. I've loved it so much. You were literally wearing,
it's the best. Oh,
gosh.
gosh.
A Seaside shirt again.
Guys.
Last time we talked about Seaside, she was also wearing a Seaside shirt. That's funny. But when we
This
were
is
little,
all I own, actually.
Yeah, when we were little,
Only Seaside merch.
we would always bring down a bunch of beach toys to the beach. Then we would go up for lunch and leave our stuff, because like we were right on the beach. Go up for lunch, and then we think, oh, let's also bring down this float and this shovel, and we bring it back down. Go up and bring some more down. And our parents warned us. They were like, only take what you can carry back, because nobody else is helping you. They didn't want all the adults to be bringing all the toys back up. So every time, but of course we didn't listen. We were children.
Right.
So we were like, no, we've got it. And then we walked back up with like 3 floats on top of us, like carrying things like a monster.
Waddling.
Yeah. But I think something we didn't see then is we didn't know how much we could handle. We just, as a child, you're like, oh yeah, I can get all of this and I can get this. And then
half the beach toys you don't even use when you're down there. And then it's like, why did I bring this down here in the first place?
You clearly don't have the strength to carry it back.
Exactly.
And even though that's a silly example, I mean, we really don't have tomorrow's burdens. We can't carry those yet. We don't have the strength to carry what we don't know yet.
Right.
So, and as growing up, now we understand how much we can carry. You don't carry all the floats down to the beach at the same time. But I think now we understand so much. Tomorrow is going to be tomorrow. And my favorite verse, one of the verses that has spurred on this podcast when we originally started it, was Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. And I always just say that first line, like, don't be anxious about tomorrow, it'll be anxious for itself. But the other line, sufficient for the day is its own trouble. That means today you have however many troubles God's going to give you, or however many troubles you're going to face. God has given you the strength to face the ones that you're struggling with today. He's given you the strength to face your doubts, fears, grief, whatever you may be going through. But he didn't already give you the strength to go through tomorrow.
Right.
That's for tomorrow. That's not for today. And you don't know if you're going to be promised tomorrow. That's why it's so important to just focus on the one lens that you have right now.
Yeah, that's, I think, really important, because you just have to look at today, even if maybe it looks more like you can handle today. God will give you the strength. He gives new mercies every morning, and he gives strength every day, like it says in that verse. But if you're even busy thinking about what tomorrow will look like. I mean, making plans, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like be organized. Don't just be like, hey.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to think about things only in today's lens. So don't worry about the things about tomorrow. You can be excited and looking forward to things.
Yeah.
But you also can't look too forward, as we've been talking about, then you miss what's in front of you today, and that you miss the opportunities that you have today. Maybe you have just a free Saturday and you're not even like, you don't have anything going on. That doesn't mean that you have to just be lazy all day. Like, you can find new opportunities to do that and take today as that day that you're looking at. You can take that day and fully put all of your efforts into that, instead of just looking forward like, oh yeah, I've got plans tomorrow, I'll just do nothing today. Like, you have to actually embrace the moment that you're in.
I think scheduling is good too. Like, I had struggled with planning things out. I'm not the best with time management. So I had used the planner that you gave me for Christmas to schedule out different parts of my day, because then I could realize, okay, now I'm focusing on this. So if my schedule was workout for 1 hour, and then lunch for 1 hour, and then podcast with Britton for 1 hour, and then golf for 1 hour. If I'm looking at each one of those things, I'm thinking, okay, it's podcast time. That means I'm not thinking about golf. I'm not thinking about the workout that I have to do. I'm not thinking about any of that. It's the one thing that you're focusing on right now. So I think if people do have trouble with time management, that's a good example of maybe plan your day out, even though it's not going to go as you plan, like always. There's always going to be something that comes out of the way. But the biggest takeaway today is we want people to just see what's right in front of them. Because be grateful for the things in front of you. There is so much that we take for granted, and so much that other people, I mean, we just see it as our everyday life. But our friends actually have been in Honduras this week, or this past week, and had learned so much about just being present in the moment with these kids that don't have everything that we have.
Right. And they don't get to see these people and get these experiences and hear the gospel that they've been sharing. Like, they don't get that all the time.
So be so intentional and grateful for the moments that you have, and soak it all up, and then that love will like overflow to everybody you're with.
Yeah. Yes. This was a great episode. I mean, I love this concept so much, and it's so powerful. And I mean, I even struggle with it, so I'm still trying to live in the moment and just like focus on one thing at a time.
Focus on that golf shot.
My brain is like a split screen of like 15 different things. It's got all the different thoughts, but I have to focus on that one shot, one moment, one experience. And yeah, it was a great episode. Thanks you guys for watching.
Yes, and enjoy your day. Maybe go hit some golf balls if you want to.
Yeah, go for it. And it's a great way to get some anger out.
Absolutely. And we will see you back next week for another great episode.